Hello and welcome Battleforge community. Today I am back with another replay and I want to cast a PvP match between EasYBlack and Afro. Both of them are excellent PvP players and we will see a matchup between Fire Tier 1 and Nature Tier 1 for now. Starting with the Scavenger on the top here, trying to occupy this first power position. In the meantime, Afro using the Dryad, also not showing any signs of fighting for any ground early on. So both players take safe first power, which is a very common start on this particular map, as this position here is fairly safe due to walls being around to provide some extra defense if necessary. So EasYBlack is moving down towards the corner here with this Scavenger, just trying to zone this Dryad away, because Fire Tier 1 in early skirmish is stronger than Nature. If he can force an early fight, that is very good. And by this move, he already gets into position to occupy this base, which would lock some map control away from Afro. A move that is very important when playing against slow starting factions like Nature or Frost. Afro now either has to wait until he gets a lot of Tier 1 units, then he could fight, but that is always risky due to Tier 2. So he takes a power just here, because this is fairly far away from the Scavenger. And yeah, EasYBlack is taking Tier 2. Afro taking Tier 2 as the response, and now EasYBlack has to decide if he wants to push this, because he didn't take the extra power yet, or if he wants to well up and say, I trade map control for a little bit of power advantage that goes for the side of Afro, because he got to take this power 20 seconds earlier, something like that. So it's Fire Nature versus Pure Nature, a very interesting matchup. Fire Nature usually tries to go for early aggression, and yeah, Pure Nature has the upper hand in late Tier 2 scaling, due to Deep 1 being very strong and due to energy parasites being extremely annoying when it comes down to defend them when under pressure. So I think this is a little mistake here, taking this power, by the way. If you take this, you have just such a small defense that could be defended by a single Skyfire Drake. Right now there are multiple open bases that can be attacked by energy parasites. So that might be a tough task to defend. After already investing a lot into them. So Skyfire Drakes will be necessary to defend. Yeah, there we see him. The most important unit against energy parasites, because one attack is enough to kill them, one-shots them. But yeah, for now, we see this Dryad still being used to protect them a little bit, because if the Dryad is around, the energy parasite does not get one shot anymore. Skyfire Drake getting CC'd and the Parasite Song getting played, trying to either get some damage on the Skyfire or a swap. So in the meantime, we see double Borrower attack being used on this power well here in this energy parasite, with the M counter now trying to defend a little bit against that. Nicely saving, microing and saving this Skyfire Drake with the Ravage here, also kiting against the Parasite Song. Nice dodge. But in the meantime, Afro is using this opportunity to CC the Burrows with the Creeping Paralysis and also get one ability off with this Energy Parasite here, as you can see. And yeah, this swap did not go through actually. So Skyfire Drake stays alive. But this power not dropping here. EasYBlack has 40 energy. You probably won't be able to heal it in time. And yeah, also not able to erupt. It was like 70 energy. If he erupts this, it's gone. So very, very close. A little bit off in the timing here, which is very unfortunate, because now we see a lot of energy parasites. Two of them already get to use the ability. This third one perfectly defended though. Very nice using the Skyfire Drake, spawning it right when it is too late for the energy parasite to turn around, but just not too late so he doesn't get to use the ability. So yeah, Fire Nature really good at early aggression, and EasYBlack is making very good use of his deck here, always combining Borrowers and Skyfire Drakes, because those both units are highly mobile. It's like a melee and range unit that can also protect each other a little bit and apply high damage onto powers, which is so good for any tempo play. So yeah, Afro in this situation getting the Skyfire Drake, because he managed to kill the Scavenger, so no ground presence to support. In the meantime, EasYBlack dodging a Creeping Paralysis here, and also perfectly positioned Borrower and Skyfire Drake, because now you cannot hit both units the oink, because if the Borrower would be here at this position around this power well, you could still CC them, but like this, after losing a power well here, He managed to get another energy parasite ability off, so he's definitely not in a bad spot right now. But he needs to do something with his lead. Because if this game would just go on, he would be down a power, which is something he does not want. So he's immediately attacking here. Because right now this 4th power wall generating extra energy for EasYBlack, and he needs to be fast. But first, instead of defending this with all his power, he's just going for aggression again. Just another Skyfire Drake Borrow attack, defended with Spirit Hunters and a Parasite, a very, very strong spell, which is good at like contesting air control, especially after the cost got reduced. And yeah, nice attempt here, syncing up the attack with the energy parasite, so he can use the ability more or less uncontested with not a lot that EasYBlack can do against this. So Spirit Hunters are poisoning, also nice focus switch here, poisoning both units here. The Gladiatrix obviously strong against Deep One, getting saved with the Ravage, which is fairly nice because he definitely needs a little bit of extra damage. Yeah, the Skyfire Drake will be able to take this energy parasite. Yeah, he takes it down eventually here, and Afro finally succeeding at taking down this power well, healing the Deep One, and killing the Skyfire Drake with a Hurricane, which is a really nice move. Like Hurricane dealing 10 damage per instance, just enough to finish off that Skyfire. Very good awareness in the situation here. Gladiatrix, nice kiting here, making sure that this Deep One is not catching up to them unless he has to, gets to use the ability. Afro in the meantime trying to make use of the low health pool from Gladiatrix by using Spirit Hunters to attack her. But this Deep One's still rooted, and we see Twilight Crawlers, very strong S counters that are good against those Spirit Hunters, simply because they take less damage from any ranged or spell attacks, which also applies to the poison. In the meantime, Afro again sending out an energy parasite to like extend his lead, but we see another perfectly timed Skyfire spawn defending this energy parasite, so just plus 50 trade here for EasYBlack on this power well here, without enabling the ability. So Twilight minions being spawned, which is an interesting choice. Yeah, I mean, Twilight could always make use of Slaver, which is an excellent unit, especially against the Deep One, because yeah, the explosion ability, whenever it dies, would also apply to L units, which is very useful, so he can't be targeted that easily. But yeah, Gladiatrix in this deck, the #1 choice for defending those L units, combined with Root. Very nice defending on this end, but there was a trade. There was a Skyfire hunting down an energy parasite, gets taken over by a parasite storm, so another unbound unit for Afro that EasYBlack needs to deal with. This Skyfire Drake spawned a little bit too early, so Afro immediately turning around, microing his energy parasite away from the space. And right now we should have Afro in a certainly comfortable position in energy-wise, but Fire Nature is definitely not out of options here, and we see another attack from multiple angles, which is very nice. Very high tempo here on those attacks, applying the split pressure, so Afro really needs to be careful. So this Skyfire Drake got Ravaged to counter the Oink, which is a nice move, because Nature cannot really burst it down unless there's the extra Parasite. But yeah, in this situation, the Parasite has to be used here to counter the Ravage on the left. Which is enough to kill this, but also a good and very important kill on this Skyfire Drake, removing the unbound unit here. And now this power while dropping low again. Another Borrower tries to reinforce, but unfortunately this Ravage coming a little bit too late, so this power while gets repaired. I think if there's like 2 extra hits or something, and an eruption, that would be crazy good. Might be power while kick, and might be a really big tempo swing in this particular game. Another very nicely spawned and timed Skyfire Drake. No chance to retreat for this energy parasite. Very important on this end, because yeah, if there are more and more energy parasites taking down taking them, like using the ability on those power wells, that would be really bad for Afro. Really bad for EasYBlack if Afro gets just all that energy. And we see a 4th power well here. So EasYBlack is trying to get an extra well and defend it. Long term, it could be an investment that pays off if he makes a good defense here, but that is really, really tough with less energy available, and all those energy parasites probably trying to fly around the corner after investing a lot of energy into them, like a lot. If those energy parasites get defended very well, this might be a good move. This could end up being a good move. But yeah, this Skyfire Drake kind of blocked and zoned away by this Parasite Stone. Just no angle to enter this fight, and it even has to be killed in the end, which is really bad. And you see Afro doing a really good job synchronizing this energy Parasite movements with his attacks. And yeah, there's just not a lot that can be done to defend this, unless unless you give up on this defense here. And yeah, this is definitely not an option. And yeah, unfortunately this eruption did not hit the energy parasite, so there was the attempt to defend it, but did not hit this time. And yeah, Twilight Cross again being used to attack the Spirit Hunters, but yeah, it needs protection from this deep one, because melee units deal full damage to them, which is a very big threat to the stat efficiency, which is somewhat limited in that regard. Yeah, energy parasite around this corner here, hovering around, another energy parasite. So yeah, Afro taking full advantage, but also need to consider Afro down a power well, so he needs these abilities to stay ahead in his position. He definitely is in a favorite spot right now. Energy wise should be fine, but yeah, he needs to follow up on that, or equalize in power wells. Like he needs to make some move now. This Gladiatrix getting swapped, which is not very efficient because it just gets caught by a root and the Twilight Mins here. And we see the tier 3, so Afro not deciding to take a power. Still 2 units here trying to attack and maybe just take out some power. That is a very nice and wise decision, because any power invested into tier 2 units cannot be invested into the stronger tech cards, which are generally speaking much more efficient. And yeah, also tier 3 on that end, so we will see Nature Frost against Fire Nature, which means we will probably see access for those Twilight units, which are, due to the hybrid orb, the Nature Plant is accessible to both Double Nature and Double Fire. And we see Afro with a Construction Eye, which is a very odd choice, but he seems to have something special prepared for this match. And yeah, kind of 270 energy here already seen, so there will be an attack coming very soon. And Afro going full late game here with the tier 4 strategy and an MA monument. So yeah, Shrine of Memory, that is such a strong card once it is active, but with tier 3 and 120 power requirement, it is something that does not hit very early in the game. So yeah, really nice move here, using the Nightshade Plant and also attacking this vulnerable center orb. Keep in mind, EasYBlack blocked this position earlier at these stages, which kind of forces Afro to take this vulnerable position here. And now this Nightshade Plant is getting transformed into, also received a little buff after the transformation, because Mutating Maniac got transformed, and this almost drops. Oh, another shield building cast just in the last second, but yeah, Nightshade Plant with the siege damage overloading this, and Afro down to tier 2 again, which is very, very nice. Like, this was a little bit overinvested. I think it would have been probably better to just build the Shrine of Memory and then try to deflect and stabilize before investing into the MA Monument 2. Oh yeah, Afro getting punished. Fortunately, he managed to take one of the Mutating Maniacs, an Excel counter, which helps him take down this Nightshade Plant. And yeah, now this game is definitely completely open here when it comes down to who wins, because Afro really needs to stabilize, even though he had the upper hand beforehand in terms of energy. It was a slight lead due to the energy parasites, but keep in mind he's down a power constantly. Shrine of Memory active though, so this will give him a lot of power here. But on the other hand, he has to activate the MA Monument here to get the tier 3 access, which means he cannot take this tier 3 easily. If you can see, like, if you build this MA Monument first, as it doesn't count as a normal orb, you cannot just easily rebuild tier 4 with the discount, so it would be 300 energy, which is something Afro definitely does not want to invest. And we see the next Nightshade Plant being transformed into, so lots of pressure being applied here, and this is something that Afro needs to deal with. Spirit Hunter is in position, but not enough to take tier 3, as you can see by his energy pool. And yeah, shield building's available, but he probably has like the construction hut, he has the MM monument, he has shield building, he has shrine, and something in tier 4. So there is not too much space left for tier 3 units, so this might backfire really hard. And EasYBlack really making a good job at just applying constant pressure here. And yeah, just aiming for this orb. Shield building obviously a great help here in this particular situation, because it can delay for so long, and with the limited power here, as you can see, EasYBlack can only play Surge of Light to support this Nightshade Plant, and definitely do not do a split attack where he tries to threaten multiple buildings at once, where this shield building protection would be overloaded quickly. And yeah, this is used on the power wall, and I think, yeah, not right now, this is the way you want to do it. Just immediately switch on the next target here, and Creeping Paralysis is being played, but too late. So this orb is dropping down again. Afro back to tier 2. Yeah, but one Frost Orb, so he is only capable of using Splash Nature cards. So Curse of Oing, for example, available, but no Deep One, no Parasite Storm, no Energy Parasite, no Creeping Paralysis, and no Parasite. So limited options here for him. And yeah, this Nightshade Plant taking down the Deep One, very good choice, aiming for this unit first, as it's an L unit, the Nightshade Plant will deal extra damage, and also it's the highest threat target. As you can see, energy is limited, so you cannot just ignore all of this and just target power wells while spamming Surge of Light, unless you do something against the high damage threats here. But yeah, Spirit Hunter Poison, fairly annoying, and we see where Beast is being played. Definitely not for defending, but for the attempt of occupying another tier 3 spot, because Afro still has the Shrine of Memory running, and you can see he has power, he has this Void cycling, and if he gets to his tier 3 position again, that game might be interesting again. And yeah, Woodweaver's getting put on the wall. Yeah, really good against Nightshade Plant, because melee units cannot really bypass it easily. He needs to hit all of this, and almost gets through, but yeah, another route being used, and yeah, constant Surge of Light being traded here to keep this Nightshade Plant alive, which is fairly important, because once you lose down on tempo, yeah, Afro might get to stabilize again and complete his setup that he's really trying to get here. Where he's in position at another orb spot whenever necessary. Immediate split attack with the Mutating Maniac, which is a nice move, because this is a good way to keep pressure on this like shield building cooldown. If shield building is getting used here, this base will fall down entirely. And yeah, good choice of finally getting rid of this Shrine of Memory, because this is just providing so much value. After even investing the shield building here, and that should allow a quick swap in terms of focus here. And yeah, this orb will most likely drop. So we see Hurricane being used to prevent those parasites from taking over, but Creeping Paralysis also being used, and yeah, buying time. So finally, this Mutated Maniac is occupied, and will just follow Afro's commands now. But in the meantime, this Nightshade Plant is just destroying his entire base. We see Werbe's taking some damage on this monument, being a little bit annoying, because the region can definitely out-heal a monument. And Afro taking another monument here. So you see just 2 power wells left. But also here you see 2 power wells left, because those power wells start depleting earlier because of those energy parasite abilities. So EasYBlack also losing out on his like economy advantage that he kind of built up. And yeah, this Mutating Maniac here, with those Werbe's dealing more than 1,800 damage, more than 2,000 damage now, this might drop actually. And yeah, we have a match with one player already had it like Shrine of Memory, we had an Nami Monument, we had Nightshade Clans, like huge tier 3 exile units, and we see Werbe's still coming out very huge in this particular situation. So Nightshade Plant being used to defend a little bit, but if you don't transform it, this unit is quite expensive. As you can see, 260 bound energy, which is quite troublesome with 2 XL counters right around the corner. This is a tough position here to be in. And yeah, tier 3 dropped. So right now, Afro on his way back to tier 3, EasYBlack just tier 2, and only with access to this one Nightshade Plant here. And yeah, it goes down. It goes down, so it will also poison those units a little bit and deal some damage, but it is fairly limited. And what this does after dying, and Gladiatrix being played combined with a lava field to get rid of all this stuff. But yeah, there needs to be this eruption, because otherwise the heal would be the perfect counter in this particular situation. Afro going for this power well, but I think he did not realize that this is about to deplete, so a little bit of wasted time in that regard, which is unfortunate. But yeah, Afro's last power well also depleted, and he's trying to buy some time. And yeah, plus 20 void return. You can see he's back on 1000 void. Afro only on 600 because he has like the investments in all those units, and he also lost so many extra structures on the long run. In the long run, that just costed him so much. So yeah, he's trying to use this extra pressure here to rebuild his setup, because he does not have tier 3 units that could enable or help him snowball the advantage that he has. That would be probably risky. Like, he might have a chance if he takes down the fire orb and takes away the presence of unit spawns in general. But yeah, he decides to play it safe, play for his win condition again. But he loses out on this attack, which means EasYBlack can occupy this position again. He decides to take a power well. So he feels like this game will still go on for a little bit longer. But yeah, Afro finally reaching tier 4. And yeah, he's on 0 power well, so it's just interesting to see what he plays, because that needs to be a very, very efficient investment, because otherwise he has nothing else left. And he also needs to deal with this attack that is incoming here. Yeah, moving around. So we see the shrine getting activated, so all the void is just coming back to Afro's pool, and we see a world breaker gun. So this is his win condition here, I guess. And yeah, let's see if he gets to use this here in action. We see a transform here into a Wildblood. Nice decision here, because EasYBlack knows if this goes through and he does not punish with some tempo play, that could be very bad. And so he's transforming into the siege unit, but yeah, Wildblood definitely not strong enough to overload the protection a shield building provides. And there's just this one orb in this area, so there's no chance to switch targets. So he really needs to transform, and he transforms into the Nightshade Plant again, which has the damage to overload a shield building, very important obviously. And yeah, that seems to work. 115, yeah, there's the next one, but Nightshade Plant can outdamage this. And Afro, as you can see, 20 energy, so there's nothing left. He cannot play any cards. He has to rely on this setup to win the game. There's absolutely no power investment that he could make. Like maybe one CC spell or anything, or like yeah, with Shrine being active, he gets to use maybe a Werebeast unit or something. And there they are, the Werebeasts. Yeah, and there is the Worldbreaker gun, and boom, there goes the Nightshade Plant. So. Yeah, EasYBlack under a lot of pressure, because if this shoots on the monuments, they will just immediately drop down. Just switching the Sky Stage here to get rid of the Skyfire Drake, which is aiming for the Worldbreaker gun here. And also using the Twilight Crawlers here to apply some tempo, which probably needs to be transformed into a Nightshade Plant here at some point. Because if this Worldbreaker gun shoots on this base where the Werebeasts are, this base will be gone, and that would mean no Nightshade Plant being available anymore. But we see Mutated Maniac being used, so tries to defend this and also force... that was a nice move actually. He tried to send in Sunstriders. Oh, there was the Worldbreaker gunshot, taking out a monument. He wanted to disable it with Sunstriders, but yeah, Afro was aware of what is happening and using this Hurricane here, with the little power he has left, to prevent this from happening. But yeah, Mutated Maniac being swapped right before the T3 got attacked, and now we see this split attack, which is very important and nice, because shield building obviously can only protect one building and has like this 20 seconds cooldown, and that is getting attacked here by Mutated Maniac, and if those units are split, only one of them can be targeted here, and the Worldbreaker gun also has a certain cooldown, so yeah, another monument dropping, and both players now back in tier 2, left on 2 orbs, and we're 24 minutes into the game, so it might be interesting to see. If this Worldbreaker gun drops, we might see a scorer decider, but for now this is looking very promising for Afro, because this is still enabled and there are Werebeasts around. And yeah, this mutating maniac is down, so this base is about to drop most likely. I'll just wait for it. Okay, so he activates the shrine first. Oh, yeah, did I miss it? I think I missed it. Just the second where I switched over to those crawlers. Amazing. This is the S Plus camera movement here. Yeah, so we see Twilight crawlers, they were sent as a distraction, and tier 2 being built up again. So this was probably supposed to be a tier 3. And this was probably supposed to Twilight crawler. That was the attempt to transform into a Nightshade plant. Because if that goes through and the Worldbreaker gun shoots to this area, there's no shield building left. So this would be the end of the Worldbreaker gun. And those were, yeah, Werebeasts in position again to the orb. And now it is really tough because this can pretty much match the construction time an orb has. So it will be able to prevent EasYBlack from just getting up as tier 3 again, from getting to this Nightshade plant. And despite having definitely more energy in this pool right now, and when it comes down to Void and such, yeah, this Worldbreaker gun stands strong and wins the game in the end. Even though it was a super fun strategy, I still think those Werebeasts taking more than 2000 damage on that one orb were the actual game winners here. So yeah, we had a tier 4 match with a tier 1 card being kind of the enabler to a certain extent. I mean, also use the Werebeasts to just run around the map and always activate the Worldbreaker. And it was a really close match. I mean, 26 minutes into the game. If this goes 4 minutes longer, if you just take a look at the score, Afro is clearly behind because he lost all the structures constantly over and over. So yeah, he was behind in terms of energy, but he had this strong setup at the end, which kind of enabled him to finish the game and not lose out due to the score in the end. So yeah, was a very fun match. Was really fun to cast. Thank you to Afro for sharing this replay with me, and thank you all for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time. Goodbye.